Oh, I started recording just because we have a kitten visit. Got some good purse? He's needing the air. This cat is so awkward to hold. He's so stiff. I never had a cat who was like stiff and awkward before. It's funny. He's funny. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Influenced. I'm Sasha, and my goal here is to get you guys to think critically about where you're currently spending your social media currency, and I do that by digging deep into influencer culture, calling them out, and holding them accountable for their crappy behaviors. Today we're going to talk about someone that we briefly covered a couple months ago during her latest scandal, and we are going to bring back to the forefront of the conversation all of her scandals because she is pregnant. Do you know who I'm talking about? None other than Brittany Dawn. She is 100% going to exploit the ever-living poop out of this poor baby. So that sucks. And we are going to talk about it. So let's go, guys. But first, guys, before we get started, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps boost the channel into the algorithms. It helps my platform to grow, and it's a free way to help out the channel. And at the end of the day, I really appreciate it. So thanks, guys. Now let's get into it. Okay, so as I said, guys, today we are going to be discussing Brittany Dawn, and honestly, she is queen grifter extraordinaire. She's one of the OGs that kind of caught on to the grifting form of influencing, and her rise to fame was quickly met with a very hard and expensive fall from grace. What I want to cover in this video is kind of a mini deep dive into Brittany Dawn. We're going to talk about all the controversies that she's been a part of as an influencer and bring those back to the forefront and really remind people why you shouldn't give your social media currency to this person, because she's not a good person. She is completely fake. Everything she puts forth is a facade and a persona that she has handcrafted based on engagement, clicks, likes, views. She is a professional grifter and always will be. You shouldn't and can't trust a word out of her mouth. I don't care if she found Jesus, you're still not a good person. You can't take back all of the harm that you've done. And you have to prove over time that you have continued to become a better person and show us through actions that you are a better person who has found Jesus and all this stuff, not just talk about scripture on the internet and then go and exploit a baby, because we know that's coming. Right? Originally, Brittany was posting just everyday content, and then she got really into fitness and started posting a lot of that. And like many other fitness influencers, her rise to fitness influencer fame and glory followed the same path. It started off showing workout routines and then nutrition advice, her in workout gear, you know, the classic gym pic, because if you didn't take a selfie, it didn't happen. Just saying. And people were really drawn to her because she seemed like a really relatable person. And she had a way of inspiring women to chase their dream body and really, oh my God, that's such good news. My friend just texted me and said that her biopsy came back and it's not malignant. And it's just like, I was literally just going because my phone's buzzing. I forgot to put it on Do Not Disturb, and that was the message. What a good message to receive right now. That's awesome. Okay. I don't even remember what I was saying. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited and distracted. I gotta message her back. Okay, I'm gonna go message her back because I'm really excited, and then I'll be back to you guys. Over time, Brittany managed to amass a really large following because, again, people were drawn to her. She seemed really authentic, bubbly, light, and essentially what she branded herself as was this person who could transform your body into literally your dream body. And she ended up creating a course or a program where she was selling individualized fitness and nutrition plans. And I'm pretty sure she offered one-on-one coaching as well. And at the peak of her business, she actually had thousands of clients that she was promising these customized personalized workout and nutrition plans. Now, the cracks started to form when people started to realize that they were getting the exact same cookie cutter basic plan. And these women who were getting scammed actually ended up going and forming their own group, basically saying, this is the reply I got from Brittany, or this is the plan I got from Brittany. And these women were paying anywhere from $90 to $300 for these customized plans. As talk started to go more and more, Brittany decided to ghost and then try and gaslight everyone into saying that these people are just like a bunch of whiners, basically. And the biggest problem with this is not like, obviously the lies and the deception and all that stuff, not cool, but these people often had very different goals. Some people just wanted to maintain weight, some people wanted to build muscle, some people wanted to lose weight. It was supposed to be customizable, right? And some women entered in and they either had or suffered from an eating disorder in the past, and they were coming in to rebuild their relationship with food and have a healthy plan fit to their needs. I don't know about you guys, but I get really overwhelmed with meals and meal planning and having to cook dinner every day. Like, nobody told me we would have to do that as adults, and I am not impressed, just saying. Anyway, it's a lot. And if you're suffering from disordered eating or any type of bad relationship with food, it's even harder. So I understand women wanting to go and get customizable plans. And this is my word of caution for you guys. If it's diet or workout or anything like that, don't go to an influencer. Please consult with a doctor. Any professional plan always says consult with your doctor, nutritionist, whatever, first. Even most influencers' plans say that. Right? We can't go in blindly trusting people who have no idea what they're talking about. And this is a big thing with Beachbody, which just is fizzling out now, apparently. I don't follow a lot of the anti-MLM stuff, but I see it across my feed, and apparently Beachbody's in trouble. They would hire on people for their MLM and call them coaches when they have no idea of anything to do with working out. They just follow a workout routine that someone posts on their Beachbody site or whatever. That's not safe. People don't understand that you can severely harm someone, like these women with eating disorders who were offered a restrictive calorie diet. And so what she did is she created these crazy workouts with the restrictive diet and could have actually killed someone, because the amount of working out that was expected with the amount of calorie intake was not safe. It was very, very dangerous what she did.
Now, one of the most common stories you'll find in articles about Brittany are anonymous tales from former customers who not only suffered from an ED, but told Brittany up front when signing up for a plan. One woman told The Guardian that Brittany's training plan was, quote, low calorie, high cardio. And when I say low, I'm talking 1,245 calories daily. Now, here's the thing. Everybody is different. Brittany's own website admitted that. The amount of calories we need to survive and even the amount of exercise is going to vary wildly. It's generally recommended that an adult needs around 2,000 calories per day, but even that could be way too little for some. According to the American Heart Association, people who know what the actually talking about, Miss Badong, there is exactly one type of person who should be eating a maximum of 1,200 calories per day: a 4 to 8-year-old girl. Some of the comments in the group said that Brittany had them eating as few as 900 calories per day. Remember, she's also telling you to exercise 2 hours a day. Now, one woman even said in her onboarding for the program, I truly need guidance, help, the right information and support right now. I currently have an ED, horrible body image views. I am underweight for my height. And Brittany allegedly responded by saying, quote, great, welcome to the hashtag Team Brittany Dawn family.
And she ended up getting sued by the state of Texas and settling for $400,000. Which is a lot of money. Oh my goodness. Because people were trying to reach out and say like, no, we didn't get a customized plan, or hey, I have an eating disorder. I can't have a restrictive diet. Can you fix this, please? Like you're supposed to. And they'd get this generic, good job, girlfriend, I'm so proud of you, or whatever her responses were. And this was just the beginning of her downfall, which is mind-blowing to me. There is more that came out after this, and this woman still has a platform. So what's the next grift we pivot to when the fitness stuff fails? Because God knows she's a laughingstock in that community. She is now riding the Christian grifting train. Gone from showing skin tight clothing and all this whatever to completely modest, even though I'm pretty sure some of her stuff actually isn't very, I don't know. Anyways, doesn't matter. That's not the point of this conversation. The point is that she saw that this was a grift that can get you a very large following. People follow you just because you say you're Christian or just because you say you're Mormon. People flock to that because they think that that's okay in the eyes of their God, and that these people, because they believe the same religion or believe in the same God, they can do no wrong. And it's like, no, guys, that's not a thing. So what she's now doing is going on and spewing Bible verses and talking about how her transformation and how she went from this to this and how all the stuff. It's a lot and very overwhelming to listen to. Like it's constant, and the Lord and the Lord and the Lord. And I'm like I said, I'm all for people having their faith and believing, but when it's your entire personality, when it's the only thing coming out of your mouth because you have to completely transform yourself to fit this certain mold, that's where I have a problem with it, because it's like you've lost sight of the actual true meaning of God at that point, and all you're seeking is validation, external validation from strangers, and clicks and likes and money and greed and all this stuff. And that's not what it's about. It's not about social media fame. So why do so many of these Christian influencers ride this train? Because it gets them paid. That's it. Super Christian of you. And again, this isn't about someone sharing their faith on their platform alongside their journey, whatever else they're sharing. This is about the fact that she tried to rebrand herself as this pure, innocent, repented, is that the right word? I don't know the right words. Christian influencer, to distance herself from the fitness community in hopes that people would just forget about everything that had happened. That's why we need to remember who we're giving our social media currency to. And are they good people? What have they done in the past? Can I trust them? Do I want to support these people in their endeavors? Those are the types of questions that we have to ask ourselves before we give someone our social media currency. But in true influencer fashion, obviously they're going to try and distance themselves, try and make everyone forget about it, try and distract themselves, get as far away from it as possible instead of taking actual accountability. It's to be expected. Christian influence grifting wasn't enough, and she went ahead and decided to create these Christian faith-based retreats. They're basically like this healing, spiritual journey retreat. It was a place where women could go and reconnect with themselves and other sisters and reconnect with their faith. Obviously, this came at a super steep price because we have to gouge as much money out of people as possible, especially a vulnerable population, people who are conflicted with their faith, maybe questioning their faith, whatever the case may be. Got to make sure we prey on the vulnerable, right? For this weekend retreat with Brittany Dawn, what qualifications does someone like this have to run a faith-based healing type retreat? Have you gone through healing courses? Have you gone through, what is their ministry courses? I know there's education for stuff like that. Like, you can't just go and read the Bible or half read the Bible, read a couple verses and be like, oh, I can heal you, or oh, I can heal your faith with God. That is so predatory. She does this because she has influence over people, because people fawn over her. Why? I don't know, but they do, and they're still falling for her scams. And that is so sad. And this time it wasn't just for a physical transformation. No, she was offering like a much deeper level of healing and transformation. And that is so disgusting, in my honest opinion. It's a pattern of behavior. We saw it with the fitness scam. Oh, look, I have muscles, so come and get all your nutrition advice and workout advice from me because I post my ass on the internet. Yay! To this. Oh, I read some Bible verses on the internet, so I know everything about everything. So come to my retreat. It's silly. Who are you actually helping? What are you doing? And why? Finally, we come to the animal neglect. Which I have an entire video on the animal neglect and a timeline of events that someone had put together, I believe on Reddit, which I will link right here if you want to go take a look. She has a long history of animal neglect and arguably animal abuse. There was an incident with her dog where her husband went and shot the dog in the middle of the street. I guess if it was bad, and the dog was suffering, you got to do what you got to do, but a lot of people were not impressed with this, especially because she was the one who left her dogs outside unattended for God knows how long. In an unfenced yard next to a busy street that people drive really fast down. It's an accident waiting to happen. But the dogs had never jumped over that wall before. No, you just never saw them jump over the wall before. They guarantee they have. How do you know if you're constantly leaving them while you go to the store? And there was horses that she owned that she completely neglected, that the owner of the stable came out. No, you don't deserve to leave us a bad review. You're at fault here. And then we can't forget about Nico, who was found in, I believe in the spring. I don't know, because I don't know what time is right now. One of her past dogs that she adopted on a whim because she's impulsive, as are most influencers, was found completely emaciated in the middle of a construction site, I believe, covered in ticks and fleas and all the things. Oh my gosh. And they scanned his microchip, and who did it come back as? None other than Brittany Dawn. She claimed she rehomed him. Did you rehome him? But if she did, then can we still put ownership on her for that? If she rehomed him, I think that we can't make her take ownership necessarily of the condition he was found in if she rehomed him. However, I think that she still has to take accountability for who she rehomed him to, because they ultimately decided that they were going to abandon him and they were not committed to him. And I think that if you're going to rehome a dog, you should probably do your due diligence and make sure that it's the right family who are going to love that dog forever. So I think that to a certain extent, she can absolutely be held accountable for the condition he was found in. But did she do it? Did she go and physically abandon him? I don't know. She says she doesn't, but I say, why wouldn't the microchip be changed then after so many years? But okay. And the thing is with this is she completely exploited the animals. The dog, Nico, had its own puppy page. You could tell that when he was a puppy, she was all raring for it. And then when she realized, hey, a pit bull probably needs proper training, proper exercise, proper attention that I'm not going to give it because I'm too busy as an influencer, she rehomed him or dumped him. I don't know. I don't know what happened. She is constantly seeking the next thing to exploit. Whether it's puppies or horses, it doesn't matter what it is. It's new, it's exciting, it's content, it's exploitable. When the clicks stop coming in, she rehomes it. And then she starts spewing that he was bad for her anxiety. It's so incredibly and horrifically sad. As soon as those animals are no longer convenient for her or providing her with something, because apparently unconditional love of an animal isn't enough, then she just moves on to the next thing. We see it a lot with a lot of influencers who are constantly getting animals and rehoming them, and it's just disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And regardless of if they get rehomed or not, they're neglected. And then that brings us to our next grift, our potentially final rebrand. She's pregnant. I feel so terrible and so sad for these poor kids, especially this one, because it is so evident that this woman is going to exploit the baby. Like, there's just no way. She's exploited everything else. I did download a Q&A, so I'm excited to take a peek at that with you guys, because they talk about, are we going to show our kid on camera? So we'll see. They'll probably say no, but our content's not, like they all do, right? My heart breaks for these kids because they're going to grow up in a life that privacy doesn't exist. They are going to grow up not knowing what privacy is and the fact that they have a right to privacy. And by the time they're old enough to say no or stop filming me or whatever the case may be, it's going to be too late. There's going to be so much on the internet at that point. Either that or they're going to follow in their parents' footsteps. And it's so incredibly sad to know that this kid's life is already content, and that's all it is to their parents. And even leading up to getting pregnant, there was the failed adoption, which that's a whole video in itself. And also, because an adopted kid's trauma is not yours to share. So thank goodness that they can't exploit an adopted child, unlike Della Vlogs, who are 100% exploiting their child, which is so that is another just, oh my God, there's so many of them, guys. It's just so much. It's so much. But there was the trying to conceive journey and the infertility and the miscarriage, and she grifted off of all of it and monetized all of it. So I don't think it's a far stretch to say that she is 100% going to exploit her baby. Do you? Now I want to jump into that Q&A and see what they have to say about the failed adoption, apparently, because I'm curious. I know nothing about that story, but I'm curious. Oh no, that connected to the white noise. I hope that didn't wake up my baby. Okay, here we go.
But I wish it was.
Oh, Sonic. Shout out to Sonic. I wish you guys would sponsor us. Welcome back to my channel. We are here to answer some questions that you guys have been asking us a lot.
I like this setup. This is good. It's comfortable.
It's comfortable.
Yeah.
It's got Sonic drinks.
Yeah.
It's air conditioned.
I got my seats air conditioned. This is nice.
Yeah. Are you satisfied? Are you happy?
I feel pretty good. Take it away.
Question number 1. Congrats on adopting. Are you still doing IVF? We did a podcast over these questions, so if you guys are more into podcasts, I'll link that below. We've never been pursuing IVF. Like, it's always been IUI, and there is a big difference. We've had very big convictions over IVF. Personally, it's just something that I never want to do. I never want to pursue that. And there's nothing against someone that has done IVF. We personally know people that have done IVF, and they have beautiful children from it. I just feel like, to me, it's too much of like trying to play God.
Each person, each couple, everybody has different convictions. We have some friends that did IVF and have wonderful, beautiful children out of it, and we love and adore them as people and consider them amazing friends.
You're saying too much. If you have to say the thing, you're not the thing. You're 100% lying right now. They're lying. There's no, like, why would they? Okay.
Amazing believers and Christians. For us, it's just something that we felt convicted on, that it's not for us.
Not for us.
Not IVF. We're doing IUI.
Doing IUI. Big difference. And if you don't know the difference, I'll spare you all and y'all can just Google it. Why is IUI okay, but IVF is not? Okay, well, I guess I'm actually just going to jump into that now.
Yeah, you didn't see that.
I can't stand this already. I'm over it. I can't stand these people.
That one's coming.
No, I forgot that was the next question, even though we've already talked about it.
Take it away. I'll just be over here with my tea.
So, IUI.
Even though we already talked about it in the podcast, like, God, didn't you go see our podcast? Like, oh my God, you do know that, like, not everybody is cross-platform, right? Some people are, like, only on YouTube. So, no, not everybody's seen your podcast, which if their podcast is on YouTube, cool. I didn't even know they had a podcast. I'm sure it's terrible.
I don't want to say it's not invasive, because it kind of is. It's no different than like a women's wellness exam, in my opinion. I've been through like the HSG and the ultrasounds now, and that's really what I could compare it to, is a women's wellness exam, a pap smear. So that.
What the fuck is he doing? Hey, it's editing me. Yeah, so this is gonna be quite the case of bitch eating cracker syndrome. And if you don't know what that is, basically it's when you dislike someone a whole lot because they are awful people, and anything they do is just going to annoy you and trigger you, such as something like as simple as them eating crackers. So yeah, this is gonna be a little sassy, and I just wanted to apologize for that now. But these guys are awful. I don't know why I'm so angry listening to these people right now. I apologize, guys. Why is he lying down? That's so disrespectful, in my opinion.
Is that, like, it's a pretty simple process. You just go in and they just help the swimmers swim to... Are you sleeping?
I was just letting you explain. I'm not involved in this part. Carry on.
You let the swimmers swim. So they just basically insert a catheter into your uterus. I believe it's your uterus. I'm not a doctor. I'm not great with human anatomy. I'm learning so much along this journey. We are learning so much. Yeah, they just help the swimmers swim to reach the egg. IVF, however, is completely different in a sense of they are taking your egg and taking the sperm and creating an embryo in a petri dish, give or take, something like that. And I just don't feel comfortable with that. Like, that's just not for us. So IUI is the route that we feel peace on. But again, everyone has different convictions. If you are going through a fertility journey, the biggest piece of advice I could give you is to pray into it. Seek the Lord on it. God knows what's best for you and your family or your future family. And for
everything. It's their entire personality. It's her entire personality. Like, oh my God, it's probably not his entire personality, but it has to be because it's hers.
For about a year, honestly, it was about a year.
Yes.
For about a year before actually starting to move forward with the process. So I know I can say and he can say that we both have felt peace on it from the Lord. Number 3, will you be sharing your baby's face and name? No shame if not. So we really unpacked this.
I can be a part of this.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure they prayed about it too, and God said it was okay. Like, is that what's going to happen? Mm-hmm. Okay. Face and name.
Please hold.
Effect.
We really unpacked this in the podcast episode. Do you want to start?
Go ahead.
It's really hard. Like, I have mixed feelings about this.
As do I.
Yeah, I think that we are living in a crazy time. I do believe that AI is going to be the downfall of humanity as we know it. Just my personal opinion. Just throwing that out there. But that's a conversation for another day. And I just don't...
I mean, yeah, it will be if humans are stupid, which humans are stupid. So yeah, AI probably will be the downfall of human society. And it's going to be like a Ian Malcolm. You were so focused on whether or not you could, you didn't stop to think whether or not you should. I love Jurassic Park.
Like the fact that, like, you can literally replicate anything that's posted online. And, you know, obviously my life and our life is just, it is what it is, it's out there. But our future child, I don't want to sign them up for something that they didn't sign up for.
You already have. That sucks, because their friends, when they're in high school, can go online and see just how much of a POS their mom is. Like, it's already all there. Like, it is what it is, whatever. Like, do you not understand how your past is going to impact this child and the fact that it's all out there online? Do you know how embarrassing that's going to be one day for them?
Talked a lot about consent in the podcast. That's a big thing too. I personally am leaning towards no. Name, I feel like, is harmless. It's a name, right? Like, God forbid you had to. You could always change that. A name is a name. We will be sharing that for sure. Adoption.
A name is a name, whatever. God forbid. Blah, 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 blah. You can always just change that. Are you serious right now? That is so you're not going to put any thought or meaning into your child's name because whatever, you can just change it if anything ever happens one day. Like,
or conception. But as far as like how much we're going to post them, it makes me sick to my stomach when I see mommy influencers, like their whole Instagram is their kids. And I just personally don't feel like that is setting your child up for success. If they choose to do that when they are of age and can understand the repercussions that can come from social media, and that's their choice, that's one thing. But when a child is a child, they don't understand. Like, they don't have the wherewithal to know the depths to which social media can be, the pros and the cons.
We approach it.
She listened to a couple anti-family vlogger and just took right from it. Okay, well, not gonna show their kids. Like, just like the Bashams.
From very different perspectives. Mine is a protection thing and exposure. I was raised very old school. I mean this in no disrespect to anyone who feels this way, but I just don't believe or can't get behind the consent thing of a child. Like, I was raised very old school. You don't have an opinion until you're an adult. You can consent right on out the door to go mow the lawn. Like, that's just how I was raised.
He's an 80s baby. I'm a 90s baby. We were raised in a completely different world. And so it's just different 25, 30 years later.
Which we don't even, I shouldn't say that we disagree, but we don't even have the same point of view on that.
No. Yeah. And I don't think it's one of those things like we're really going to know until we're there. Yeah. Like we're in that.
Oh, okay. There you go. There you go. Yeah. So they are absolutely going to exploit the ever-living shit out of their baby because she just left the door open. Ultimately, like, we're not going to know until we're there. So, like,
season, because obviously we're still waiting for that season to happen. By the time you guys see this video, you'll know about the whole situation. What advice does Jordan have for men with infertility? Take it away, babe.
Caught me off guard there. I didn't know I had a question. Yes, hello.
So we went on the
Why
podcast
are there
to
so
talk
many
about
cats?
how male factor infertility is actually far more common than women's side of things infertility. And
So
we didn't know that.
And after learning that, and when we found out that we had a fertility issue, I actually prayed that the issue would lie with me and not her, because I know.
That's just how selfish.
And well, no, but don't get me wrong. Like, I want to be a father too, but I know how badly you want to be a mother, and I know the way that she processes things, that she would have done nothing but beat herself up about it. And so, I mean, newsflash, I was the one that was the problem, not her. And so I actually prayed for that, because I didn't want the enemy, her own thoughts, to get into her head about how she's broken, how she's not worthy, all these different factors. Whereas I know that I can probably process that differently, not necessarily easier, just differently.
Up right now.
Why?
I'm not even
so
listening.
sweet. Like,
I'm sorry. I'm not even listening to what he's saying. But yeah, the cuts, guys. Is anyone else seeing this? Am I going crazy? Maybe I'm having a stroke. I don't know. Why? What? Like, you're cutting out literally half a second of empty space. Why? Just leave it.
I'm also just really emotional because of hormones and medicines that I'm on
just,
at the moment.
you know,
Like, it just says so much about your heart, babe. You don't hear men say that. Like, I'm praying that God would give me the issue and not my wife. Like, you just don't.
That's just,
we live in a very selfish world, and I just want to honor you. Like, that's.
well, thank you. That's just my heart on this, because like I
this is
beat
so
myself up
weird.
about other things and in other ways, but in that scenario, I was like, okay, I can handle this. I can work through this. Just please don't let it be her. And a lot of times, not always, the fix to the male infertility issues sometimes is easier than the female side, less invasive, if you will, which ended up being our story. It was, I had to take a couple of months and get healthy in a couple of aspects of my life, and I did.
We got a phone call that his swimmers were swimming.
They're swimming.
They were back, and
They're back,
swimming.
back stronger than ever.
Praise God. So I think my biggest piece of advice, what like he's trying to say, is that if you
Praise all the work he put into. Oh, I did wake the baby. Oh no. Oh no, guys. Oh no.
are going
You
through
translating for me now?
No,
I'm
I'm
usually
saying
the one that translates.
Yo, are you translating for me now? Look at her face. She's like, no, it's weird.
It's for you.
I
Your
know,
broken Texas English.
It's so true. No, but like, I think that if you are going through infertility of any kind, what we wish we would have known, and I don't know, I don't want to speak for you, but like, I wish we would have gotten your side of things checked sooner.
Sure, yeah.
Because I think that we would have been
Absolutely.
in the season we're in now. I think we would have been in this season a year ago rather than this year.
So annoying. So annoying. Okay, I gotta go. We'll continue this after. So I'll see you when I come back. Okay. Good start. Okay, I'm back. I'm gonna try and get through this where we were in the video as best I can. I got the baby down for a little bit more quiet time, so like fingers crossed that we can do this. Let's do this.
It would have saved a lot of heartache, but I also know that we grew as believers. We grew as in our marriage.
You know what's sad?
As people. But
Is they say that infertility actually causes a lot of people to, not a lot, but like a good like 50% chance of divorce. And it just breaks my heart because like I look at us and I look at what we've walked through and I'm like, I wouldn't want to walk through this with anyone but my husband, but you. So it's just really sad. So if you're like going through this and it is putting a strain on your marriage, like I want to encourage you to seek wise counsel, go to therapy together, like use it as an opportunity to grow closer together. It's not blaming each other. It's not blaming one person. It's, hey, we're in this together. Like it takes two people to have a child, obviously, male and female, just throwing that out
I
there.
don't think that's controversial. I think that's true.
Oh my god. You like with all the cuts, why keep that in? You're such a dink.
It's truth, but unfortunately for some it's controversial. Anyways,
Next question.
Why do you
Oh my god. See, he's like, just don't, just stop, just don't. Ugh. Just when you can like dislike someone more.
support Israel so much? Genesis 12:3. I'm gonna open up this Bible. I actually have an Israel Bible.
This is actually amazing.
This is so cool. So I wanted to show you guys this Bible. This is my Israel Bible. I hope you guys can see that.
It's backwards.
It is. It's backwards. It has English translation and it has Hebrew text.
Oh my gosh. So that means it's like, because it's backwards.
Which is really, really cool because it helps you learn Hebrew language while you're reading the Bible, which I've always wanted to be bilingual. I'm not saying that I'm gonna like become bilingual overnight, but I do think it's really cool. Let me just try to find Genesis 12:3. Please pause. It's in here somewhere because everything is backwards. Leviticus. There we go. Genesis. Are you going back to sleep again?
Well, I just didn't know how long this was going to take you to find it.
Okay,
Israel
so I found
Bible.
it. Genesis.
Come back.
Genesis 12:3 says, I will bless those who bless you and curse him that curses you, and all the families of the earth shall bless themselves by you. So in the scripture, it's talking about the nation of Israel. It's talking about how Israel is a holy land, how Israel is the chosen land. And I know there's a lot of controversy. I know that there's a lot of opinion. And I do want to say this, like, as Christians, we are called to stand with God. We are called to stand with the kingdom. However, it is absolutely tragic, the loss that's happening on both sides. I think where a lot of people go wrong is they think that we support Israel and we're supporting all the terrible things that are happening. That's not the case. Like, it's devastating. It's absolutely crushing to see the stories, but it is the Holy Land. And so we do stand with the Lord as Christians, as Holy Spirit-filled believers and the body of Christ. But this Bible, y'all, it's just so
It's really cool.
That was an explanation.
Cool. Like, I want to show you guys. I hope you can see this. There's some really neat stuff in here. Like, you can literally see how it's not just English, but it's also Hebrew. I don't know. I kind of want to learn how to speak Hebrew. And what's really cool is it also, like, it tells you how to, like, sound it out. Vayo Marado.
I don't think you should try that on camera.
Yeah, I probably really messed that one up.
We're still working on English.
Yeah. What's also cool, look, it's talking about Sarai when she was barren and had no child.
Yep.
Look at that. That feels timely. So timely given the conversation we're having. But Jordan is very passionate about this.
And this thing is awesome.
Yeah, it's truly awesome. There's also a really cool book that I have. It's like a coffee table book.
We're not adopting solely because we haven't gotten pregnant yet.
Yeah, we're adopting out of obedience.
We're adopting because we feel called to adopt. Now, timing,
All in
is
God's hand.
adoption ideal while welcoming our own baby? Probably not ideal, but that's his call. That's not ours.
I think the crazy part is, like, we are living in a time where the world makes kids seem like such an inconvenience, and kids are such a blessing. And when you've been on an infertility journey of any kind, I don't care if it's 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, almost like us, you have a newfound appreciation for how precious life is, whether it's an adoption or conception and a child of your own. We are going to love every child that God blesses us with our whole heart. It really does. Like, it just completely shifts your perspective on becoming parents. And so, yeah, if we get pregnant in the middle of adopting, that's a blessing. And if that's God's plan, that's God's plan. I have so many friends. We know so many stories. People in our life that they were in the middle of adopting, or they came home from the hospital and they were pregnant, or they found out they were pregnant in the middle of their adoption process and they went through.
I feel like these friends are like Facebook friends and they haven't talked since high school, you know? And fun fact though, one of my high school teachers was on her way across the world to adopt twins and found out she was pregnant, and later found out she was pregnant with twins. So yeah, it totally does happen.
Through with it, and now God has blessed them with 2 precious babies. Like,
sometimes more.
Yeah, if that happens.
Or
like,
4.
Okay.
Awesome, that's God's plan. Has this process overwhelmed you at any point, or are you guys taking it slow? Well, slow is irrelative. We did.
There it is. Irrelative.
Is that not a word?
Nope.
Are you serious?
Irrelevant.
Irrelevant. Slow
Irrelative.
is irrelevant. Oh my gosh.
Slow is irrelative.
Oh my gosh.
I
Okay.
know I can count on you. You are, outside of the Lord, you are one of the most constant things in my life. I know you're never going to let me down. You're never going to let the people down.
No, that's just...
This is
that is
her.
It
This is awesome.
This is me 24/7.
All right.
No, it's because she's trying to sound smarter than she is. So she's trying to use big words thinking it makes her sound smarter, but she's using the wrong big words and that makes her sound silly.
You guys. Oh my
Continue
gosh.
with your irrelative.
I don't even know what I was saying. Slow is...
Irrelevant.
Thanks, baby.
Relative.
Slow is irrelative. And wait, irrelevant.
Irrelevant.
Oh my gosh, Jesus help me.
Please don't edit that out. It's fantastic. This is the only reason I show up. This is great. This is entertaining.
No, we're not taking anything slow, but we did for 2 years because we really didn't start pursuing these fertility appointments until January of this year. So actually we did take it slow, like, for over 2 years, like 2.5 years.
If you would call inaction slow,
Yeah.
we just didn't do anything about it. We didn't know. We didn't know what we didn't know. And that you hit on that earlier, like knowing what we know now, we wish we would have started the process earlier.
January was the month that we truly felt the Lord confirm that we were called to adoption, and also started getting us answers on our fertility journey. Finances and adopting. I'm so overwhelmed with how to afford it. Yeah, girl. That's a whole thing that we also unpacked in the podcast. It's really unfortunate that there's not something that can help families adopt, because there is such a need. There's such a need for adoption, especially with Roe v. Wade being overturned and all these abortion clinics getting shut down. We as Christians, if we're going to be passionate about saving the unborn, we also need to be passionate about stepping up to the plate and doing something about it. Unfortunately, a lot of people can't afford to do that. Now, walking through a failed adoption, like, you don't get that money back. That is part of it. And it's a very vulnerable, scary thing that you truly just have to rest on the Lord and know that He's Jehovah Jireh and that He will provide.
Like,
and
did they invest in the adoption before it was failed? Like, did they completely pay for everything? Like, it was, you know, ready to go, and then the adoption agency was like, no, never mind. I don't understand how it works, clearly.
has provided for us through this. It just breaks my heart.
At the same time, what she just said about like adoption and the expense and stuff, she's right. I mean, kudos, I guess. It is really heartbreaking for people, like she said, to have suffered from infertility and wanting to just have a child and so desperately wanting to adopt, but they have that financial constraint. And it's not a matter of can you afford to raise a child or not. It's that upfront cost. It's tens of thousands of dollars to adopt a child. And if you're adopting from across the world or wherever, that's traveling expenses and stay expenses and stuff like that. So it adds up. And I agree, it is really heart-wrenching. And I think that people who want to adopt, who pass all the criteria to adopt, other than that initial like huge financial constraint, I don't think that should be a thing. I think there should be a program to allow people to adopt if they are good people who just want a child. And it makes me sad.
Like, you see all these programs to help with other things, but I'm like, what about these kids that need forever loving homes?
Killed it.
Passionate babe. How did you know that adopting is the right decision? The Lord confirmed it.
I feel like it's a calling. I feel like it's something that both of us had a passion for and a desire for prior to meeting one another and prior to being married. That was pretty easy. We prayed into it. And then ultimately what was more confirmation than anything was the opportunity that we have gone with is actually not something that we sought out. It came to us.
It literally fell on our lap.
That was even more confirmation that we were heading down the right track.
Are you guys still trying to get pregnant even though you're adopting? We kind of already answered that. Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
Did you ever consider embryo adoption, and what are your thoughts on it? This is the last question. We actually, previous to, I feel like there needs to be like a theme song playing every time you do that. Before we knew that Jordan's sperm count came back, praise God for that, we actually were heavily pursuing embryo adoption because we believe that life begins at the moment of conception, just like it says in the Bible. We do not want to have those embryos in a lab. That just doesn't seem right. That is a soul on ice, in my opinion. As Christians, we have these convictions, and are we willing to step up and do something about it to make a change, make a difference? And embryo adoption is just that. Basically, where they take an embryo that is currently frozen and they would place it inside of the woman's womb and allow her to give birth to that child. It was a no-brainer to Jordan. It was a no-brainer. It's just a beautiful opportunity to help a life make it to actual like physical life here on earth. I think it's such a beautiful thing. It's a lot to wrap your mind around. We got connected with 2 incredible families, one of which we decided to go with. The other one was also super helpful. It really just helped us understand the process more, understand what it is. As of now, we're doing IUI. There's still a high likelihood that we would consider embryo adoption. Was your not nice?
Yeah, you were talking me through it, but yeah, pretty good. But I'm used to it.
Any closing regards?
You did great.
That's it, y'all.
You didn't even miss me.
That's it, y'all. Thank you guys so much for stopping in on our channel. If you guys want to get your own Israel Hebrew Bible, I will leave a link down in the description box below. As always, thank you guys so much for stopping in. We will see.
I disagree. That was not fun at all for me. Okay, well, that was something. And then I have this, which is finding out we're pregnant. It's only 4 minutes or something. So might as well give it a sneak peeky since we have it.
I feel so sick to my stomach, whether that's nausea or nerves. I can't really tell at this point, but I am officially going to.
Why are you whispering?
Pregnancy test today, and I've just been feeling a lot of crazy symptoms. Let me see how you guys go.
There's no symptoms until the sperm implants. So like 3 days ago. Why is she whispering?
Okay, I was gonna wait for Jordan to wake up, but honestly, he's sleeping so good, and I don't want to wake him up, and I can't wait. I literally can't wait any longer.
Okay, well, yeah, okay. I don't want to turn it up anymore, but I can't hear her.
So, here we go.
Yeah. I'm shaking. Ew, she's peed on camera? I mean, you probably could have looked before for a minute. I was so scared to turn that test over. I had never felt so emotionally vulnerable as I did in this moment, but God. That is weird because I don't know that I would want to share my most emotionally vulnerable moments with a super public platform. Some things, you know, can be kept to yourself and can be like sacred between you and your husband, like moments like this, like finding out you're pregnant. Just throwing it out there. Yeah, right. Yeah, one there. How far along is she now? Because, like... Okay, I don't know why I can't speed this up, but this is making me uncomfortable. I'm not gonna watch it. Okay, I gotta figure out why I can't speed this up because I don't want to watch this. Okay, so she's pregnant. Sorry, it's not letting me speed it up or anything. They say they're not going to exploit their baby online, not going to show the baby names, whatever, because they can just change the name later, right? That'll solve all the problems. But why does all of this matter? This isn't just about Brittany Dawn and her constant grifting and constant rebranding. It's a pattern of behavior that we see across influencer culture, and it's just trying to stay relevant. It's all fake, it's all performative, it's all for show, and it's preying on people's emotions and their most vulnerable moments in time. Infertility journeys are incredibly hard. And just like a NICU journey, like we saw in House of Hughes, there is value to sharing those stories because people can find solidarity in them. But that's not what this is. It's exploitation, and Brittany has repeatedly exploited her entire platform, her audience, their trust, their ability to trust in her as an influencer, for goodness sakes. And now just because she says she's a woman of God, that allows her to have all sorts of trust. And watch, they are going to show this baby because it's what's going to get them the views, and it's what's going to keep them relevant. And every single time she finds a grift that she fails at, she gets to walk away with no consequences, except for the fitness grift. But even now, she's running retreats. That's yucky. And this is why your social media currency is so incredibly valuable and important, because it is enabling people like this, like the serial grifter, to continue to scam and exploit and take advantage of their audience. Even hate watching enables these influencers to keep going, because every click, every share, every comment, every view gets them paid. And that's why we're seeing such a large rise in rage bait, because people cannot help but engage because it's egregious and disgusting behavior. But oftentimes what happens, that comment just gets blocked or deleted or whatever, and nothing comes of it. You need to take back your social media currency. It's the only way to get them to stop. It's hitting them where it counts. Brittany Dawn may be rebranding again, but her track record is clear as day. She finds a new grift. She gains a ton of following, makes a bunch of money. It starts to fizzle. It's time for the next grift. And right now it's the pregnancy grift. And once that starts to fizzle, because 9 months is super freaking long when you're an influencer and pregnant, then it'll be the baby, because the views will fizzle again. And then it'll be more clickbaity, it'll be more exploitative, it'll be more vulnerable moments, more personal moments, more doctor's appointments. It's a constant cycle of manipulation, and it needs to stop. And it's just her and her husband, they're just too much. It's too much. It's too much. Guys, I will keep a close eye on this because I'm really curious to see just how much they exploit this pregnancy. If there's another loss, they're going to capitalize on that, because they always do, which I would never wish that upon anyone. And it makes me so angry that regardless, they get a gain from it. Regardless of if there's a baby that comes or if there's a loss, they're going to monetize it and exploit the crap out of it and grift on that. And it's so incredibly gross. We'll see where they choose to take this journey, but she had a couple really good points there, but that doesn't change everything else. It just doesn't. Being consistent in improving your life and improving the type of person you are and showing that outwardly to the world is what makes people take pause and say, oh, maybe real growth has happened or real change has happened. Sitting down and taking accountability for your actions is a really good first step to that, but that's too much to expect from any of them, right? God forbid they be imperfect for 1 second and admit that they were wrong or did wrong to other people, or that whatever they posted was harmful, potentially hurtful, whatever. That's all I got for you guys. Got a little heated towards the end. I don't know why, but just listening to them just triggers me so much. I don't know if it's the religion and that's what triggers me. I don't know if it's the scam artist in her. I don't know, but it's so aggravating to listen to them. And like I said, that's all I got. I hope you guys did enjoy this video, this little update video, and I hope you guys are having a absolutely fantastic day wherever you are in the world. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon.